Contemporary romance. Alyssa could feel that her life was at risk facing such a monster. She was at the peak of A rank, but even with her special elements, she was sure she would not be able to kill this monster. A real Mir, she knew about this monster because it was one of the trickiest C rank monsters that could appear in a dungeon. Stay back and support me, Asher said, fully knowing what this dungeon had in store for them. A real Mir was a C rank monster, but it was one of the trickiest monsters to hunt in a dungeon. The fact that these monsters never appeared outside the dungeons that had biomes suitable for them made it difficult to kill. Although it was fortunate for them they had only encountered a single Realmir, as it was a C rank dungeon, higher level dungeons had groups of Realmir. A monster that could switch into medium to close combat easily, and whose strength could rival mid-C rank monsters, was a notable factor why they were so dangerous. A monster taller than 2 meters, with long hands and a body covered in a hard shell, and with its hands covered in fire. The fact that they had 4 eyes not only increased their field of vision but also allowed them to dodge any surprise attacks as well. Alyssa was a bit nervous, but she knew that if she made a mistake, both of their lives would end here. Not like this, she told herself. She had just gotten a ray of hope in her life that was full of darkness. She had finally gained a chance to exact revenge on her enemies. Alyssa calmed herself down and looked at Asher, who was staring at the monster with an indifferent face. The Realmir finally moved as its creepy eyes looked at the 2 humans in front of it, and the monster shouted again. "You know their weak points, right?" Asher said as he swung his sword around. His eyes were focused on the Realmir, but there were only a few nods he could see on the monster. "Yeah," Alyssa said as she summoned 10 ice lances above her head, ready to shoot any time. Humans had ventured into dungeons for a long time, and the knowledge allowed the current generation to know every weakness of almost all the monsters that were present in the dungeon. The Realmir dashed towards Asher, as it had perceived him to be a bigger threat to its existence than Alyssa. From its burning hands, whip-like things made of blazing hot lava came out and extended towards Asher. Asher's speed was enough for him to see the blazing whips, so he sidestepped from his initial position, and saw the whip land on the empty ground making an impact on the ground. Seeing Asher had dodged its attack, the monster shouted in anger. Scrage! The Realmir dashed towards Asher. The whips went back into its arms, and small, sharp-looking claws could be seen beneath the burning hands of the Realmir. Asher raised his sword to block the attack of the Realmir, but the strength of the Realmir pushed him back a bit as they were locked into their position. Asher's body was covered with aura so he could handle the heat coming out of the Realmir's body. The monster's eyes stared into the crimson eyes of Asher. Despite Asher suppressing his killing intent, the monster could sense danger coming from Asher. But it was too focused on Asher, and it made him completely ignore the ice lancers that came towards its head. Bam! Ads by Pub Future. The impact of the ice lance shook the neck of the monster, and Realmir lost its grip on Asher's sword. Asher did not miss his chance and immediately pushed the monster back. Swift strike. Asher's sword changed its trajectory from a horizontal blocking position to a downward slash. During his attack, Asher could see a few nods around the hard stone-looking shell that covered the monster's body. His sword, which was covered with his aura, managed to cut Realmir's body. The monster instantly dodged backward, sensing danger, but it was too late as Asher had already managed to wound it. Realmir's eyes saw the cut below its chest region. Shallow. Asher knew that the attack was not enough to seriously injure the monster. Screech. Realmir was seriously enraged as a weaker human was harming it. Despite sensing danger from Asher, the monster still dashed towards him, but its speed was faster than before. Realmir's claw-like legs started burning with fire, and Alyssa again attacked it with a few more ice lances, but the monster easily dodged them while still running towards Asher. There was a reason why fighting Realmir was dangerous, and those who had fought similar monsters like it could see the change in the monster. Monsters like Wheelmere used the strength of the surroundings, like lava, to burn their bodies and produce more energy. Although it was a short boost, the dungeon environment allowed such beasts to get more and more lava or similar elements that could increase the times they used such skills by several times. That's why to fight such a dungeon, a water element aligned mage was needed, and Alyssa was filling that spot for Asher right now. Asher's eyes looked at the incoming beast, but as Wheelmere almost approached him, Alyssa used her gravity magic to slow down the beast. Descend. She focused on holding it back, but it was difficult for her. The Wheelmere was confused, but it was enough for Asher, who could see the nodes more clearly now. His sword got covered in his deep blue aura as he slashed the approaching monster. But even for Alyssa, it was difficult to slow down Wheelmere any further than 20% of its current speed. The difference in rank was too much for her to handle. Her previous attacks were distractions to make the monster approach Asher. She saw Asher, who instantly closed the gap between him and the Wheelmere and removed her gravity magic. Sensing the pressure was gone, the monster raised its claws to cut down the human in front of it. Asher ducked a bit as he swung his sword in an upward arc. Asher's eyes could see that his sword was faster than Wheelmere's approaching claw. His red eyes were staring at the monster in front of him. There was no fear in Asher's eyes. He had fought more terrifying monsters than a mere Wheelmere. Slash. Asher's sword traveled, cutting through the gap in the shell on Wheelmere's arm, slicing it down. But before the monster could writhe in pain, it saw Asher's body turn and his right hand twisting the sword's direction. Asher turned his sword and concentrated his aura on the tip of it, thrusting it into the throat of the monster, which was the only part not covered in a hard shell around Wheelmere's body. You did it, Alyssa said as Asher's sword penetrated the throat of the monster, making its way out of the head of the monster. Host has gained 5000 Express. Asher looked at Wheelmere, whose eyes were staring at him, as blue blood kept flowing onto his sword from the monster's throat. He removed his sword and swung it to remove the blood present on his blade. Asher saw Wheelmere's body slump on the ground as the fire on his body died down, revealing its claw. Asher wanted to try and absorb Wheelmere's stats, but his skill was still in cooldown, so he took the corpse and placed it in his spatial ring. Asher crouched down and sat on the ground as he took a few deep breaths. His previous fight had drained a lot of his stamina to keep up with the monster. Huff. Asher saw Alyssa approaching him. Are you fine? She extended her arms to lift Asher up. Asher stared at her hand and eventually took it. Yeah, Asher said while looking in the direction where Wheelmere came from. This is not good for us, Alyssa said while taking the body of Hylders in her spatial ring. Although they had managed to defeat the C-rank Wheelmere, she remembered the important thing she had read about them. Wheelmere's existence meant that there was not a single Wheelmere, but multiple ones. This dungeon was a perfect place for Wheelmere to exist. But hoping that it was a C-rank dungeon, she knew there were at least 5 to 6 more Wheelmeres in this dungeon. And if they encountered 2 at the same time, it was not looking good for them. Let's rest for 10 minutes, Asher's voice made Alyssa come out of her thoughts. Okay. She nodded as she thought Asher needed to rest a bit, given he had defeated so many monsters himself. But Asher was not that tired to stop and rest. What he was waiting for was the cooldown of his bloodline ability. Right now, he needed more mana to sustain his aura, and Wheelmeres were the perfect monsters to get such stats from. Asher used his mana sense to see how many monsters were ahead of them, and he could see the presence of 2 more C-rank monsters far ahead of them and many D-rank monsters before them. This dungeon would take them a lot of time, and Asher wanted to find the portal gate, but he knew that it would be somewhere near the boss of this dungeon, which was still an unknown monster for now. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Knock knock. Come in. Farnes said as a panicked staff member came in front of him. What happened? Farnes said while still looking calm. Principal, there is a dungeon defect in the first year assessment test. The staff member hurriedly reported. What? Farnes's face changed into a frown, but he still remained calm. Who is inside? He needed to know who was stuck inside the dungeon before finding fault in the person who picked the dungeon. It's Asher von Greville. Farnes's eyes went wide because this was the worst scenario that could happen right now. From a professor attacking him to him getting stuck in the dungeon defect due to their mistakes, the aftermath of this incident could cause a scenario that Farnes wanted to avoid at any cost. Don't let anybody know about this until I say so. Farnes stood up and his aura alone was enough to shake the staff member. I will go there myself, Farnes said as he disappeared from his office. The staff member immediately made sure that the order was followed. Apart from Farnes, nobody was informed except for a few staff members who were managing the assessment test where Asher was. He quickly informed the principal's order to those who knew about the news. The strongest human in the world was on the move, knowing what the death of Asher could cause for them. Elena, handle the one on the left. I will handle the rest of them, Kevin said as little zaps of electricity wrapped around his hand and the tip of his spear. Kevin's speed was comparable to that of a D-rank hunter as he dashed towards a giant spider that was half his size. Thrust contemporary romance. His speed was enough to overpower the low A-rank spider monster as he thrust the spear into its body. At the same time, Elena chanted multiple fireballs in her hands and blasted them towards the monsters. Currently, they were in a D-rank dungeon, and they were hunting A-rank spider monsters. Kevin, above you, Elena shouted, noticing a spider creeping on the ceiling above Kevin. Whenever Kevin used his advanced element, lightning, all his senses were greatly enhanced so he could sense the silent movements of the spider above him even before Elena shouted. Kevin backstepped as the spider jumped down on him and threw his spear towards the spider. Losing contact with Kevin's body, the aura on the spear dimmed greatly, but the little sparks of lightning were still present. The spear was strong enough to impale the spider's body even without aura, so Kevin managed to defeat the spider efficiently, leaving the senior who was observing them shocked. So, that's the famous Kevin Whiteheart. Seeing both Elena and Kevin in action, the third-year boy could not help but accept that Kevin was quite talented. But if he is this strong, then what sort of monster Asher Greville is? The senior year boy questioned himself. Right now, Elena and Kevin had killed a total of 30 A-rank spiders in a matter of 3 hours. Going by their speed, there was a chance they could try to take on the boss monster of this dungeon as well. Elena, splash a water spell there. Kevin pointed at the ground ahead of them, making Elena chant a basic water ball spell. For her, who had an affinity for all elements, it was quite easy for her to use the basic spells of all basic elements. Splash. The water splashed as the ground got wet, and 3 spiders crawled out from behind the spot where the water ball landed. Kevin's heightened senses allowed his vision to be more clear and precise than other humans near his rank, so he could spot the black spiders despite the spot being dark. Kevin took his spear and carefully coated it with electricity. He was focusing all his lightning on the spear, and after a certain amount, he threw it very fast at the ground where the water was. Combined with water, the lightning electrocuted the spiders, but it made the mana inside Kevin's body go down by quite a huge amount. Huff, nice. Kevin, who was breathing heavily, fist bumped Elena. Let's aim for the dungeon boss as well. Kevin looked at Elena and told her. Ads by Pub Future. I am ready, Elena said confidently, and she took a small hand towel from her spatial ring and handed it to Kevin. Oh, thanks. Kevin thanked her while smiling at Elena, making her blush a little as he took the towel and wiped the spider's blood off his hands. These low-level spiders were not poisonous, but their bites could sting an A-rank hunter. So it was better for them to remove the monster's blood from their bodies. I wonder how that bastard would be doing. Kevin was quite confident, thinking that both Elena and he were doing great considering they had killed a total of 33 A-rank monsters. And the fact they had a chance to kill the dungeon boss as well made him confident that his performance was quite good so far. But what he didn't know was that, instead of A-rank monsters, Asher and Alyssa were hunting D-rank monsters and had even fought AC-rank Realmir and defeated it already. Asterisk 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 asterisk. You can eat, Asher said to Alyssa, who was sitting silently beside him. Okay, she replied. Alyssa looked at Asher, who had no emotions on his face. He was similar yet different from her. For her, masking her emotions was the only way she could live until now. Although the SSS rank potion had fixed her physical body, Alyssa was even more scarred mentally. But Asher's indifference was a bit different from hers, but it didn't intimidate her strangely. Keep your energy levels high, Asher stood up. I will go scout for a bit, he said, while Alyssa nodded at him. Asher went ahead to look if any monsters were attracted to their presence. Despite the lava and heated climate around them, there was still enough oxygen for them to breathe. The fact that Kirans, which also breathed oxygen, were present in this dungeon was enough proof for them not to worry about oxygen levels for now. But the heat was affecting Alyssa a bit more than Asher. Her body had become a bit more sensitive now, and the headache from using the spatial ability was affecting her. Until now, she had masked it, but the moment Asher left, she grabbed her head. She summoned small ice shards around her to cool the air around her a bit. Asher, on the other hand, took out the corpse of the Realmir in his spatial ring. He looked at the dead monster and put his hand on its body. Absorb, Asher said as a red mist came out of his body. When he had hunted A-rank dungeons before coming to World Academy, he had stopped receiving any stats from them because low-level monsters didn't have similar stats to humans. But it was different for higher-rank monsters. The disparity grew bigger if the monster was the boss of the dungeon. The boss was always a bit more powerful than the regular monsters of the same rank as itself. The strange mist covered the body of the Realmir, and Asher could feel that his mana was increasing. Host has absorbed a low C rank monster. Host has gained +17 mana stats. A portion only, Asher confirmed his theory about his bloodline ability. He was not sure about low rank monsters, but he was sure that the difference between his and the Realmir's mana pool was greater than 17 stats. He was only absorbing around 50 to 60% of the difference in their stat of the Realmir, whose mana pool would have been around 120 to 130. Although it was a rough estimate, but from his rank a mana flow, which increased the level of his innate mana sense, he could compare the stats of the Realmir to himself. Roar! A scream of Hyldar made Asher turn as he took out his sword immediately. Although still far, Asher could notice the Hyldar running towards their direction. Might as well, Asher covered his sword with his aura. He ran towards the direction of the Hyldar, and after half a minute, he could spot 3 Hyldars that were slowly walking towards him. Asher increased the amount of mana in his leg and ran towards the Hyldars. The 3 of them had came out of a big crack in the wall, which was probably the direction they would need to go towards to get further into the dungeon. Dash! Before the first Hyldar could react, Asher had already slashed its right leg in half, making the monster lose its balance while it writhed in pain. Not stopping here, Asher changed the direction of his left foot and used the ground to propel himself towards the Hyldar to its right. Unlike the previous monster, this Hyldar was ready to attack Asher, but Asher turned his body a bit, making the monster miss its attack on the airborne Asher. The Hyldar's neck was within Asher's reach as his sword swiftly made a huge cut in the Hyldar's neck. But using the Hyldar's body to slow his momentum, Asher rotated midair as he connected the 2 nodes behind and in front of the monster's face, slicing the head in half. Host has gained 500 Express. Asher's eyes were glowing in red as his killing intent started leaking out of him. Unlike low-level monsters, D-rank and above monsters never ran away from such bloodlust, but it affected their rationality. The Hyalda, whose leg was cut, tried to jump on Asher to kill him. But he could not reach Asher as the last Hyalda of the three jumped on the monster on the ground to attack Asher in a frenzy. Seeing the monster run towards him roaring, Asher sidestepped as he slashed off the hand of the Hyalda. Alyssa was not here, so she could not see the way Asher truly fought. Not minding the blood that covered half of his body, Asher saw the Hyalda using his other hand to smash Asher, but the monster could not even reach Asher's body as Asher disappeared from his spot and sidestepped, cutting the huge wrist of the Hyalda. Seeing the two Hyaldas writhe in pain, Asher dashed towards them, beheading them both. Host has gained 500 Express. Host has gained 500 Express. Asher's killing intent subsided, and his eyes became cold as he looked at his hands covered in blood. It was refreshing for him to finally let himself loose. Dungeons were the only place where Asher could let himself be free. His endless urge to kill everyone felt sated whenever he would kill a monster. He took the Hyaldas in his spatial ring as he turned to get Alyssa and go further down in the dungeon. 3 days was the amount of time before Asher needed to somehow clear this dungeon. Their food would last around 2 days, and venturing deeper, he was not sure there would be many such places to rest and stop due to the biome of this dungeon. And the fact that there were at least 6 to 7 Wheelmeres roaming in this dungeon was a major concern for him as well. If he could absorb all of them, his mana could rise to the level of D-rank hunter. He knew that the mana he could absorb from them would gradually decrease, but that was his only chance to defeat the unknown boss monster somehow if they didn't find the gate before the boss room. Asher returned to Alyssa, with half of his nano armor covered in murky red blood. What happened? Alyssa stood up and asked. I just met some Hyaldas, Asher said. Are you done eating? He asked. Yeah, I have recovered most of my mana, Alyssa replied. The food they received was specially enriched with mana and other nutrients that not only helped them recover their mana but also replenished their energy. Alyssa followed Asher as he walked forward. For her, Asher was strange. Unlike others, he didn't hate her, but he also didn't try to get along with her like Venusaur did. She came to the spot where Asher had defeated the 3 Hyaldas, and she could see blood on the ground, some of which had dried up due to the heat. Alyssa was using her mana to actively protect her body from the heat, and Asher was doing the same, but he was utilizing aura instead of mana. For mages who never used their physical might, aura was useless, so they used their mana to shield themselves from situations like this. Asher looked at the big crack in the wall, which was wide enough to let the 3-meter-tall Hyaldas pass through it. Using his mana sense, Asher stepped out of it, and the view changed slightly from the previous part of the dungeon. They could see lava pools on the edge, and around 15 Kirans were sitting near them, chewing on the few dead Hyaldas whose hearts had been ripped out. Wheelmere, Alyssa thought in her mind. It was strange, but Wheelmere never hurt beasts like Kiron. Some people had a theory that there was a hierarchy among monsters, but it was never proved as a lot of inconsistencies arose when they took SS or SSS ranked dungeons into account. The higher the dungeon level, the more complex and intricate the inside would become. Should we do the same? Alyssa was speaking, but Asher raised his finger to his lips and pointed at the lava pool. Alyssa squinted her eyes as she saw something moving in the lava pool. A Wheelmere. She didn't think that the Wheelmere would be present in the pool of lava, and knowing that there were at least 15 Kirans in front of them and a Wheelmere, this was not a fight that was advantageous for them in any way. The fact that the Wheelmere had the source of lava so near him would make it highly difficult for them to defeat it. Asher stepped back, and Alyssa quietly followed him. Coming a bit farther from the previous position, Alyssa finally spoke out. I will try and fight the Kirans, and you should focus on the Wheelmere. No matter what, Alyssa could not think of a better plan than this. It would be extremely hard for her to fight against 15 Kirans, but if Asher could somehow handle the real Mir, they had a good chance of winning that battle. Asher thought for a bit. Alyssa's idea was decent, but only if she was AD ranked like Asher. Right now, at A+ rank, her attacks were not that powerful either. How many ice lances can you throw at the same time? Asher asked Alyssa. About 35 to 40, Alyssa replied. Asher explained his plan to Alyssa, and thinking about it for a second, Alyssa agreed to it as well. Although it was a bit risky, it was still a better idea than hers, but it depended a lot on Asher. Both of them walked a bit and reached the point from where they could easily see the Kirans and the hidden Realmir, who was probably sleeping after eating the Hyaldas. Asher masked his presence as much as he could. He softened the sound of his feet by applying mana to them. Although it required delicate control, his mana flow rank A allowed him to do this quite easily. Ads by PubFuture. Bring forth. I call upon ice. Alyssa materialized a few long rods around her. Channeling her mana, Alyssa made the Kirans notice her, but the Realmir hadn't moved for now. Alyssa threw around 15 rods that were twice the size of ice lance, making a fence-like structure to trap 10 Kirans behind the fence, but the rest 5 were still out and now they were running towards Alyssa, who was breathing a bit heavily. Ice lance, although it was difficult to chant twice like this in succession, their life depended on this. The rest of the Kirans were attacking the ice fence to break it, and slowly few shards of ice were breaking onto the ground and melting into water. Swift strike, Asher dashed in a zigzag motion, cutting through 5 Kirans at once. Making Alyssa the bait for the Kirans and accelerating himself by using mana, he managed to outspeed the Kirans. Host has gained 500 Express. 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 The moment Asher flared his mana, the Realmir woke up. Alyssa was still far, and the Kiran's senses were sharper than the Realmir, so they could spot Alyssa easily. Still, Realmir only noticed Asher when he used mana to kill 5 Kirans at once. The 10 Kirans were still trying to break through the ice rods, but Alyssa had given around 70% of her mana to make them sturdy enough, so it needed some time to break. However, the heat of the environment was also affecting the ice rods, which would surely break in 2 minutes. Screech! After the ear-deafening cry of the Realmir, a whip of lava came out to attack Asher, but he dodged it quite easily. A 4-eyed monster with a white jaw was burning more than the previous Realmir, which meant this Realmir had a lot of reserve than the previous Realmir, and his bursts would be even more powerful. Asher boosted his aura to the maximum. It was the first time he had flared his mana this much, but he needed to finish that Realmir as fast as possible. Asher's crimson eyes were shining through the deep blue hue around him. The Realmir dashed with his claws out, but Asher did not move from his position. His eyes focused on the node in front of him. Swift strike, Asher said as he dashed towards the rushing Realmir, closing the distance abruptly. The Realmir saw the blade coming out towards him, and a sense of danger arose in its mind. The Realmir dodged Asher's attack as all his limbs started burning furiously. The moment the Realmir had taken Asher as a threat to his existence, he brought out his full power to kill Asher immediately. The wits extended out of his claws, making Asher dodge repeatedly as the strikes made a deep cut on the ground. Bam bam! Seeing that the human was faster than it had expected, the Realmir burst fire around its limbs as it dashed towards Asher. Asher used a lot of mana to suddenly burst forward and collide with the Realmir. He turned his hand and covered the blade's edge with denser aura. As the Realmir approached near him, clang! The Realmir's hand bounced off Asher's blade, but it couldn't push the monster back. This was not what Asher wanted either. He twisted his right hand as he raised his sword above the Realmir's chest. The Realmir raised its claws and brought them upwards, aiming to attack Asher's head and rip it off. Descend. Alyssa used the most gravity magic she could at the moment, maintaining the ice lance above her head. Asher could feel the heaviness above him, but it also increased the weight of his sword considerably. He pushed the sword downwards to the Realmir, which was about to hit Asher's head with its claw. / contemporary romance. Blue blood spurted on Asher's face as he slashed through the shoulder of the Realmir with his sword, cutting the monster's body into 2 parts, ending its life. Host has gained 5000 express. Boom. However, as they were fighting, the fence around the Kirans broke due to an attack similar to a fire arrow, breaking the ice rods that had stopped the rest of the Kirans from attacking Asher while he fought the Realmir. The sudden explosion took Alyssa's attention as she stared at the smoke where the ice rods were broken. What? Alyssa said, her eyes going wide. The sight she saw made her face frown greatly. Screech! Screech! The deafening cry of 2 monsters could be heard as Alyssa saw the Kirans running towards Asher, and behind them were 2 Realmirs. Their jaws were wide open as one of the Realmirs dashed faster than the Kirans present there. Get back! Alyssa shouted as she fired all her ice lances to somehow save Asher. The second Realmir noticed Alyssa's presence, and its claw came out as the Realmir got ready to attack Alyssa, who was busy firing her ice lance. Is this how we die? A thought rose in her head. Her senses went into hyperfocused mode as a few of her ice lances managed to hit a few running Kirans, but she saw that Asher was not moving from his spot. Time dilation, Asher muttered as he disappeared from his spot. Asher looked around himself as everything was moving slower than him, even the sound of the monsters was reaching him slower. But his senses were still sharp. His eyes went towards the second Realmir, and he dashed towards it. 2 seconds. In 2 seconds, Alyssa saw all the monsters fall to the ground. Suddenly, she felt a presence near her and saw that Asher was standing beside her. He was covered in blue blood, but his crimson-colored eyes were shining. She noticed Asher, who was staring forward, looking at nothing. She could not see it, but there was a green glow around Asher's neck. She looked back at the ground and saw a pool of blood in front of her. Every single monster in front of them was beheaded, with even their limbs detached from their bodies. What? This shocked her. What had happened? How were all the monsters dead? How was Asher standing beside her? She didn't know the answer, so she turned towards Asher. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting no answer from him, she was about to speak out when Asher clutched his heart and fell to his knees, coughing blood immediately. He was about to fall completely, but Alyssa grabbed him immediately, not knowing what was happening to him. When Asher killed the Realmir, using Alyssa's gravity magic as a boost to his strike, he was about to rush and kill the Kirans caged behind the long ice rods. Host gained 5000 express. Host has leveled up. Although this was not a good outcome for Asher as he had used quite a bit of his mana, the cost was considerably reduced due to rank A mana flow. If not for this ability, it would have been impossible for Asher to even move after killing the Realmir. Boom! Asher saw the ice rods fall, and he could immediately deduce that another Realmir had come. But he was proven wrong when he saw 2 of them together. He wanted to save this card for the boss monster, but knowing that he only needed to wait for a 1-hour cooldown, he decided to use the skill finally. Asher was really skeptical about using system-given abilities until now, even his bloodline ability. For him, it was weird for anyone to help him, especially a god. A goddess helping a man like him. When he first saw the message that took him back in time, he laughed, thinking that his time had come. When he actually regressed, he laughed. But he knew that whatever actually helped him had a motive or something that only he could give. Or that was what Asher thought. Time dilation. The moment he muttered those words, time seemed to slow down for him. The ratio 5:1 sounded too good to be true for a skill with a simple 1-hour cooldown. This meant that his speed would increase 5 times what he could reach right now. Currently, Asher's speed was what he could achieve when he reached the peak of A rank in his previous life. But this was only what others who could see him would feel. For Asher, it was not him that was fast, rather everything else other than him had grown slower. Asher's eyes wandered as he looked at all the monsters running towards him with their jaws open. Asher dashed past the Kirans and killed the second Realmir first. It was the first time he had used this ability, and only 5 seconds had passed for Asher when he channeled his aura and sliced through the shell of the Realmir, beheading it. Host gained 5000 Express. Not minding the Kirans, Asher turned his body as he dashed again towards the remaining Realmir. The Realmir could not even see Asher right now. Host gained 5000 Express. 10 seconds had passed when Asher turned towards the Kirans. 1 or 2 of them died to Alyssa's ice lance, but the rest of them were killed ruthlessly by Asher. Asher could feel that something heavy was placed on him. It was almost as if the weight of his soul had increased rather than his body. He could move normally, but he was feeling more and more burdened by the moment. Asher immediately dashed towards Alyssa and stood beside her. Host gained 500 Express, Contemporary Romance. Host gained 500 Express. Host gained 500 Express. Ads by PubFuture. Host gained 500 Express. Host gained 500 Express. A total of 7 Kirans were killed by Asher. He was watching the notifications with an indifferent face. He could see some words coming out of Alyssa's mouth, but they sounded weird to him. Seconds kept passing, and Asher stood still. Time dilation is ending. The duration of the skill ended and Asher felt weak all over his body. It was not as if he was injured, but his body failed to handle the transition when the skill duration ended. Asher fell to his knees as a terrible headache and sudden pain ran rampant near his mana core. Asher spurted out blood, but the heaviness he felt was still there. He clutched his heart not because the pain was too much for him to handle, but he was feeling as if his mana core would explode. "Are you fine?" Alyssa asked, grabbing Asher. But right now, he was not exactly in the state to answer. Host should not use time dilation until your body gets used to it. Right now, your body is holding the burden of using a power too great. If this was a simple agility boosting skill, Asher would have been fine. But what he used just now was him delving into a realm that was under the rule of only one entity. When can I use it next? Asher in his mind, still suffering from the terrible headache. Host should not use it for a week, but if you can use it one more time. But it is highly likely. The host would lose consciousness the next time you use it. "I am fine," Asher muttered. Alyssa removed her hand when she saw Asher could sit normally on his own. She was confused about what had happened just now. Is it his bloodline ability? This was the only possible explanation for Asher's action. "How much mana do you have?" Asher asked Alyssa. "Not enough, but I can protect you until you recover," Alyssa said. She was almost out of mana, so the most she could do was protect Asher from a mid-D rank monster if any appeared. She knew her current limits very well, and she would rather not give false hope in such situations. "We will rest. If any mid-D rank monsters come, try to kill them," Asher said as he closed his eyes. Alyssa saw Asher meditating in a dungeon and recovering his mana. Greville, Alyssa thought, standing up. Asher was not simply a genius. If what she saw right now was true, he was also capable of defeating the top rankers of the second-year students and some rankers of the third year as well. "Why is he helping me?" Doubt arose in Alyssa's mind. From the strange connection she felt from Asher to all these strange abilities he was using, she got curious about him. At first, all Alyssa wanted was to somehow use Asher as a shield while she fulfilled her revenge, but questions started arising in her mind. Alyssa's eyes went dull thinking about her revenge. She looked at the corpses of the monster and thought about how much she needed to increase her strength if she wanted to catch up to people like Asher. All the blood and corpses around her managed to bring out some memories she didn't want to recall. The moment she left Asher, similar thoughts that had haunted her for years returned. Strange voices that had impacted her so much throughout her life began to resurface once again. She felt rather calm around Asher, just as Asher felt near her. Asher was meditating when he used his mana sense to probe inside him. His mana was all over the place inside him. His core was almost empty, but he was regenerating his mana quite fast. 2 hours went by as Alyssa killed a few Kirans that came their way. It was hard for her, but she was getting a hang on how to reduce her mana consumption. It was not on the level of rank C mana flow, but she was learning from her battle experience. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Outside the dungeon, 7 hours ago, Farnas had arrived, and the professor was kneeling in front of him. I am sorry, we didn't know that the dungeon gate was fresh, he repeatedly apologized. Although it was not his fault, the man he was kneeling in front of was the strongest human in this world. In the current situation, pointing fingers and making justifications could have dire consequences for him. It was not his fault, but it was the way that the world worked. How much time has passed? Farnas's words made all the people present tremble a bit. An hour has already passed, a staff member replied. Farnas stood up and went near the gate. When he touched it, the gate repelled him similarly to how it had repelled the others. Make sure nobody gets the news about this. If any student asks about them, tell them their dungeon exploration was delayed, so they are still in the middle of their exams, Farnas said, turning around. All of the people nodded quickly, not daring to go against his order. Farnas touched the white robe he was wearing as he thought about something. In a second, he disappeared from his place and arrived at his office after a short while. He touched the metal engravings behind his seat, and a majestic golden spear got revealed as he released his mana on the engravings. Let's hope the worst does not happen, Farnas said as he looked at his spear and took it inside. His spatial ring for now. A weird blue pattern around his right shoulder started glowing as Farnas disappeared again from his office. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Inside the dungeon, very far from where Alyssa and Asher currently were, a huge beast was sleeping. Lines of lava were running around its body like they were its veins. The monster opened its eyes as a Wheelmere came into its sight. The Wheelmere tried to flee from the strange beast, but it only took a second for the beast to rip the Wheelmere in half. The strange monster revealed its jaw as lava started to drool out of its mouth. The powerful C-rank Wheelmere, in an instant, was turned into food for the strange monster. After a few seconds, the monster noticed a strange amount of mana, but it was too small for him to care about it. The monster turned as it went back to the dungeon altar, where a strange yellow-colored portal was. 2 hours had passed and Alyssa was breathing heavily. She had defeated around 10 mid-D rank monsters while using sneak attacks. It was hard for her, but fortunately, none of the Kirans she hunted came in groups. Huff, 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 Alyssa wiped the sweat off her face. She sat down on one of the rocks to rest for a bit. For her, this was the least she needed to do right now while Asher was recovering his mana from whatever he used during his fight. You can rest now, Asher came and saw Alyssa resting on the rock. Okay, Alyssa replied, but the heat in the dungeon made it difficult to rest comfortably. I will go further into the dungeon, Asher said as Alyssa nodded. He turned to go further in, but Alyssa's voice stopped him. I will join you in 2 hours, so don't go too far. There were no expressions on her face. Nobody looking at her would think she cared about Asher when she said this, but a smirk appeared on Asher's face as his back faced her. Sure. Asher walked off to go deeper. Alyssa touched the mana-gathering locket as fresh mana kept swirling around her. She had not used it the entire time, so she activated it now to quickly recover her mana. Asher had recovered completely, but he could still feel the heaviness around his mana core. It was weird, but he was sure that the skill he used did not use mana at all. Asher dashed off to the corpse of one of the Realmir as he touched it to absorb it. Absorb, Asher muttered. Host has absorbed +8 mana stats. Asher could feel the mana around his body increased once again. There were 2 more corpses, so he took them in his spatial ring like other Kirans. Asher spread his mana sense as he dashed off further into the dungeon. He saw multiple Kirans with many small ice daggers around their neck region. She improved, Asher thought in his mind. Although ice lances were the easiest thing she could make, smaller ice objects required greater complexity as encasing them with mana was more complex. Mana manipulation was something mages needed to excel at to properly conjure higher level spells. Asher dashed forward, using mana to accelerate himself. Greg, there were some Kirans left in the area that sensed Asher's presence. Swift strike, right now. For Asher, it was not hard to handle mid-D rank monsters as his mana was on the higher side. Host gained 500 Express. Host gained 500 Express. Host gained 500 Express. Host gained 500 Express. Host has leveled up. Adds by Pub Future. Asher saw the dead Kirans and took their dead bodies inside his spatial ring. He could feel that his mana level has grown higher than what his current core was able to handle. The mana flow rank a skill was the only reason he was not feeling the after effects of having high mana without the properly trained mana core. Mana flow was very different from mana circulation rank A. Unlike the latter, mana flow didn't intervene with mana inside his body, but it controlled the output the core produced and mostly the external mana around him. The major advantage Asher had because of mana flow was to suppress his own mana, making him almost undetectable unless he went into closer range of the monsters. Right now, he was exploring the middle part of the dungeon. Between checking many paths, Asher found that most of them were not filled with monsters. He was continuously using his mana sense to see if there were any Realmir present nearby. He could fight one of them and emerge victorious, but 2 of them would be a problem for him. 2 hours had gone by, and Asher cleared some of the paths while killing monsters like Kirans and a few Hyaldas around them. Asher went back to see Alyssa, who was meditating with her eyes closed. She had used her ice around her to lower the temperature so she could focus on gathering her mana. Usually, it would have taken much longer to fully recover mana without an external source of mana, but the mana gathering locket worked fine for her. Step. Sensing Asher's footsteps, she opened her eyes and looked at the young man walking towards her. Almost Asher's whole body was covered in dried blood of the monsters. Should we move? Alyssa asked as she stood up. Asher wanted to clear this dungeon as soon as possible because if he got a bit late, then his plans would go down the drain. This dungeon environment was not a major problem for him. He could endlessly hunt monsters and absorb them until he couldn't and then properly challenge the boss, but his motives were different. Both of them left, and as Asher guided Alyssa to the path he had scouted ahead, from his skills alone, Alyssa could not think of Asher as a novice. She thought that it might have been because of his family that he was so knowledgeable, as she never personally had the chance to use Astaria family's resources like Alan could. As they moved further into the dungeon, they encountered various monsters like Kirans and Hyaldas. Some of them were grouped together, so Alyssa took on a bunch while Asher finished them off. His style of fighting became more refined as he moved with Alyssa. He felt calmer with her, so he didn't have the reason to calm his madness by killing the monsters brutally. Host has gained 500 Express. Status level, Asher said as his sword penetrated the heart of the 3-meter-tall Hyalda. Fate Devourer System. Name Asher von Ravengrevel. Level 19, EXP 8500, 19,000. Roar. Another roaring howler died as multiple small shards penetrated its neck and eyes. Alyssa was still getting used to maintaining the structure of the ice shards. Little errors would make them unable to harm a D-rank monster. The pools of mana had become lesser, but the heat had significantly increased. Now, even Asher was sweating a lot. Let's go back for now, Asher said as both of them turned. It would be useless to go further as both of them needed a bit of rest. They had been traveling through the dungeon for 6 hours. Alyssa was quiet as both of them sat down on the corner farthest from the lava pools. I will generate some ice, Alyssa said as a circular ring of ice appeared on the ground around them. We will rest for 4 hours, then we need to find the boss room, Asher told her while wiping the blood off his sword. They didn't talk much during their rest. It was a comforting silence for both of them. Asher talked about a few strategies, and Alyssa gave her input on areas where she might not be helpful to him. I will try, but I might be useless in front of the boss monster, Alyssa said. Don't worry, I will deal with it, but just follow the plan. Asher knew that her damaging AC rank boss would be nearly impossible, so he came up with another plan. But let's deal with Wheelmere first, Asher said, sensing a monster coming their way. Asher and Alyssa stood up. Let's try it on the Wheelmere, Alyssa suggested as she raised her hands and created several ice shards. Bringing her hand downwards, one by one, the ice shards hit the ground but they kept breaking because they were brittle. Alyssa's sudden attack generated a loud sound that attracted the Wheelmere. Screech! A monster's cry was heard as the Wheelmere quickly came toward them. Alyssa muttered a chant, as he focused on creating the spell. Asher moved as soon as he heard Alyssa chanting. He flared his mana, which attracted the Wheelmere, causing it to move toward him. After a few seconds, a creepy monster with 4 eyes became visible as it marked Asher as its prey. The monster ran towards Asher but it suddenly stopped in its track as a heavy pressure stopped him from moving for a single moment. Shackles, Alyssa muttered as various ice shackles emerged from the water below the Wheelmere, which had just stepped on the water. The Wheelmere looked at its leg, which was getting encased in ice. But before it could break it, Asher moved from his spot. Swift strike, Asher's speed closed the distance between the two quickly. But instead of aiming at the gap between its hard shell, Asher's sword connected with the monster's mouth, splitting its upper and bottom jaw, killing the beast instantly. Host has gained 5,000 Express. Alyssa, who was grabbing her knees with her hands, saw Asher defeat the Wheelmere and felt glad that her combination magic of 2 elements had worked fine. Although Asher had explained how to do it theoretically, she had implemented it quite well. Asher instantly touched the beast and said, Absorb, Contemporary Romance. Host has gained +5 strength. The last stat he gained from the Wheelmere was +3 mana, which meant that the difference between the Wheelmere's mana grew less than the difference between their strength. Absorbing it, Asher immediately took the Wheelmere's dead body inside his spatial ring. He turned and saw Alyssa, who was grabbing her knees. If she managed to do something similar, there was a huge chance that Asher could defeat the dungeon boss without getting heavily injured. Let's move. I am fine, Alyssa walked toward Asher, maintaining a stoic face, but her head was hurting a bit. Her confirmation meant they could venture toward the last path they had left unexplored among all the paths. Walking down for 6 hours straight, defeating a few Kirans, they reached a huge ground. In front of them was a huge gate that was half open. Fortunately for them, not a single Wheelmere had appeared near this path, which probably led to the boss room. The temperature had increased quite a bit. This heat was unbearable for a normal human, but both of them looked fine. Although it increased their mana consumption, it was something that could not be helped. Thump thump. Alyssa could feel a feeling of danger coming from the thing behind that door, but she calmed herself, but her heartbeat was not calming down. It was different from the Vielmir. The monster behind that gate was increasing her nervousness. She was nothing but an A+ rank hunter. An A+ rank hunter should have been dead long ago to mid-D rank monsters like Kiran's, but she was standing in front of the C rank dungeon's boss monster. But unlike Alyssa, Ash's eyes had turned deadly cold, as he probably sensed what exactly the boss monster was. Wag! A loud roar that vibrated through the walls could be heard as the beast woke up again. The walls vibrated as the beast roared. There were no lava pools near the boss room, but the temperature had increased quite a bit. Status, Asher said, as he looked at his status. Fate Devourer System. Name, Asher von Ravengrevel. Level, 19, EXP 18,500, 19,000. Bloodline, Devil's Absorption Rank SSS. Cursed, Curse of Fate, active. Body Constitution, Mana Core Rank D Contemporary Romance. Attributes. Strength, 90. Agility, 72. Endurance, 80. Intelligence, 120. Mana, 114. Stamina, 65. Charm, 65. Fate, 10,230. AP, 75. SP, 14. Skills, Time Dilation, Rank S, LVL1. Absorption, Rank S, LVL1. Mana Flow, Rank C. Mana Circulation, Rank A. Rune of Airden, Rank A. Node Art, Rank SSS, Aura Force Passive Skill. Asher could feel that his mana core had increased from D to D rank, meaning he got extra mana stats and stabilized it with the help of Mana Circulation Rank A. Wear your mask, Asher said, and the density of his aura around his body increased slightly. Alyssa took the white mask out of her spatial ring, and the moment she touched it, her skin went pale, and the scar returned. Even her hair became duller than before. Stay back, and I will get its attention, Asher said as Alyssa calmed herself down. A single mistake from Alyssa could prove lethal for both of them. If Asher, the only one among them with a chance to battle the boss, got harmed, both of them were as good as dead. Asher stepped forward, and they both walked towards the boss room, downhill on a slope-like structure. The roar had stopped, and a deathly silence took over the dungeon. Ads by Pub Future. As they entered through the door, they were hit by a wave of intense heat. Lava flowed freely from the walls, casting an eerie glow over the room. Alyssa's eyes became wide as she saw the sight in front of her. In the center of the chamber sat the monster, its massive form dominating the space. It was a four-legged beast 3 times the size of a Hyalder that radiated an intense heat from its lava-like veins. The 2 large horns on its head glinted menacingly in the light. It was like nothing she had ever seen before. It looked similar to Kiran, but it was nothing compared to this beast. Many monster carcasses could be seen around the beast, which opened its eyes again, revealing a menacing glare towards the 2 humans in front of it. Alyssa saw the glaring yellow eyes of the beast staring at them. VRRAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAGH. Another roar went through Alyssa's whole body. The beast stood up again, seeing another meal in front of it. But its hand turned, as the huge beast felt a killing intent stronger than itself, and turned its head towards a human who was looking at it with a cold gaze and crimson red eyes. What is this beast? Alyssa didn't know, but Asher did. It was a fireman's, but not a normal one. Although they looked like Kiran's, they were beasts that could live inside lava, and they were one of the monster species that required long-range attacking hunters to hunt them efficiently. But the one they were standing in front of was a boss fireman's, which would surely have other abilities that differed from a normal fireman's. The boss of the dungeon was basically the caretaker of the dungeon altar that could be seen behind it. Without killing the boss, the runes around the artifact, or whatever item was on the altar, were useless. Some people tried to steal artifacts without killing the boss monster, but the runic formations destroyed those artifacts if the boss monster was alive. But behind the runic formation of the altar, there was a yellow portal that could only be accessed if Asher could somehow manage to kill this boss. Host is under the effect of peak C rank monster. Dungeon environment will affect your mana circulation. This was the effect that many hunters experienced when they fought higher rank boss monsters. Their mana control would go out of control if the boss was higher ranked than them. But it only happened in the boss room. Some people theorized that the boss room was the domain of the monster, but some said it was due to the runic formation that kept the artifact safe until the boss died. Asher could handle the mana circulation penalty due to his high-ranking skill, but Alyssa would have a hard time fighting this monster. "Don't go near it," Asher told Alyssa as he dashed towards the beast, emitting enough killing intent to capture the attention of the firemen. The monster opened its mouth, revealing its massive jaw, and emitted a stream of fire. Asher changed direction and dodged the fire attack, but the boss was a peak C rank monster with better stats than Asher. Seeing him clearly, the monster turned its eyes towards Asher and dashed towards him. Asher used a small burst of mana on his leg to dodge the rushing boss monster. The firemen hit the dungeon wall, making a few stones fall from the ceiling as lava poured over the monster's head. Despite the burning lava, the beast was fine and turned towards Asher. The beast's claws, which were glowing orange, grew bigger as it dashed and slashed towards Asher, not giving him a chance to retaliate. Enraged by Asher's killing intent and their rank difference, the firemen did not even care about Alyssa, who was in the middle of a chant. Asher increased the aura shrouding his sword as he propelled himself towards the limb of the firemen. Despite the aura shielding his body, Asher could feel intense heat as his body turned redder. Swift strike, Asher struck the limb, but the monster was quick enough to escape with only a graze. Ravag, the beast roared again, making the room vibrate, but Asher did not miss the chance as he closed the distance. He gripped his sword tightly as he saw a few nodes that were very dim around the leg of the beast. Slipping past its head at high speed, Asher sliced a big cut on the beast, but his sword was getting dull. It was not enough to handle a beast like a fireman's. The beast was about to strike Asher with its claw, but Alyssa's attack on its eye interrupted it. "Eye slash," Alyssa muttered as a small dagger flew towards the beast's eye. The ice dagger was rotating at a high speed while its sharp side managed to thrust into the monster's right eye. Splurg. Vrag. The beast shook its head intensely as the heat around its body increased. But the damage was done. Alyssa's normal attack would never be able to pierce the body of a peak C rank monster, but she combined it with her gravity magic to accelerate it. It took a massive chunk of mana and mental strain, but she did it. Asher saw that Alyssa had managed to do her part of the plan as he looked at the beast, which was slamming its legs furiously. It was a short time frame, but Asher needed to use it well before the beast dashed towards Alyssa, killing her instantly. With blood flowing through its one eye, the beast turned its yellow eye towards Alyssa, making her heartbeat faster. The pressure of the C-rank beast was getting to her. But before the beast could attack Alyssa, Asher jumped into the air and turned its body. The fireman's body was too large for Asher to cut its neck, but his target was its horns, which were one of its weaknesses. No dart, swift strike, Asher's body turned as he sliced off one horn from the boss monster. His attack made the boss monster turn furiously, but he was already on the ground. Asher dashed away from the beast as it roared again. Its whole body that was brown was becoming more orange as the heat inside its body increased. The blood flowing through its head and one eye made the beast look even more terrifying, but Asher was staring at it indifferently. Asher dashed again to turn the beast's attention, but the beast had finally used mana around its body, making its claws sharper. The beast dashed towards Asher, who stopped to sidestep, but the beast was learning from Asher as well. Currently, Asher's sword art was still novice, and he was maximizing it, but his speed was not enough to outrun the peak C rank beast. As Asher sidestepped, the beast noticed and raised its leg to strike Asher, who got hit and was sent flying into the dungeon wall. Alyssa's eyes went wide, her heartbeat racing, but fortunately, Asher was not sent flying towards the lava. However, the impact with the stones injured him. Cough cough. Asher came out of the smoke with a slight bleeding wound on the side of his head. At the last moment, he used all of his aura to shield himself from breaking all of his bones due to the difference in strength between the beasts. Drip drip. Blood started dripping from his head. It was the first injury he got in a serious fight since his regression. Asher's madness took over him as his killing intent ran rampant, and the beast refused to lose to a lower-ranking existence, just like Asher. His inner madness went rampant as his face turned cold and his eyes stared right towards the boss. A small smile emerged on his face, but it was not gentle at all, it was menacing. Even Alyssa could feel the thick killing intent. He was even more overwhelming than the boss monster itself, but she could not see Asher's expression right now due to the smoke around him. Warning. Host's emotions. Closing square bracket. Asher ignored it as he removed a small sharp stone that had penetrated his left hand despite his nano armor. The beast roared again, sensing even higher killing intent, and opened its jaw to breathe fire. Asher raised his sword, but his left hand was badly broken as it went limp. "Is he fine?" asked Alyssa, unable to see Asher through the smoke in front of them. The monster opened its jaws and breathed out fire. Boom! Alyssa tried to distract the boss by hitting it, but apart from a few ice daggers, none of their attacks managed to pierce the monster's body. Alyssa looked around for Asher but saw a person in the air above the firemen's. A few seconds ago, Asher had used a burst of mana in his legs to propel himself into the air. His feet touched the wall behind him as he burst forward, appearing above the boss monster. His eyes shone red as he jumped onto the head of the monster, plunging his sword into the wound that appeared due to the broken horn. Wrath. The monster writhed in pain as Asher took its head and pushed it onto the wall. Before the monster could headbutt the wall, Asher had jumped off the monster. His feet were a bit burnt due to standing on the monster directly. His eyes were shining with bloodlust as he didn't care about his body like his previous self. Bam! Lava spilled onto the ground as the enraged boss turned over, using its head with a huge cut to strike Asher. Asher anticipated the attack and dashed forward, causing the ground to rip off due to the strike from the boss monster's claw. Its eyes tracked Asher below as it backed away to strike again. But as the monster backed away, an ice dagger pierced its face, just missing the left eye. Alyssa was breathing heavily as she did not have much more mana left. The monster's pressure was affecting her mana circulation, wasting much of her mana on such attacks. The monster became annoyed by Alyssa's constant annoying attacks, but the moment its attention shifted, Asher jumped towards the firemen's once again. "No!" Alyssa shouted, not knowing why Asher would go near the flaming hot body of the firemen's. "Swift strike," Asher muttered as he pierced the skin near the boss's chest region, but the heat started affecting the blade. Asher had transferred much of his aura to the blade to make it handle the heat, but the downside was him getting a bit burnt badly. Various burns started appearing on his arm that was holding the blade and his legs as the nano armor failed to protect him. It was not made to handle the attacks of a peak C rank monster. Asher pulled out the blade quickly, but his balance was off as he couldn't use his right arm. Taking the sword made the boss move suddenly, causing Asher to fall to the ground. Bam! He used his aura to protect the back of his head and his spine, but the firemen's didn't let go of its chance. The monster was wounded a lot now, as it was bleeding heavily due to various shards that had penetrated it long and due to the wound near its broken horn. The monster once again tried to do a claw strike on Asher, but he barely survived as he rolled over to the side. Ice shards. Alyssa did a few attacks, seeing Asher backed into a corner. Her eyes became red, and her hands started trembling. Her constant use of gravity magic was putting a lot of strain on her, and in this environment, where the heat was also affecting her thought process, it made her suffer a lot. But she didn't give up because if she couldn't help Asher right now, their only chance to defeat the boss monster would go away. Asher's eyes saw the figure of Alyssa, who was frantically trying to save him by distracting the boss. Seeing her face again, a memory that he didn't want to remember resurfaced in his mind. His killing intent became even denser, but it focused only on the boss, who was about to turn towards Alyssa, but his sudden action made it focus on him once again. Ads by Pub Future. Asher stood up, not minding his left hand which was bleeding. Not only was he losing a lot of blood, but if he got attacked once again, he would lose his chance to even damage the monster. The monster got enraged as it struck towards Asher with its claws again, but Asher kept dodging in an unpredictable manner. He was trying to stay closer to the boss because their size difference made him compensate for the lack of speed he had. His nano armor was breaking apart as he tried to close the distance, but he didn't care about it right now. The boss had jumped back and opened its mouth. Its horn was glowing, so Asher knew that the fireman's was about to do a wide-range fire breath. No doubt, first step, despite his uncontrolled state, Asher managed to perform the first step that was part of the novice mastery. Although it was not perfect, his body moved on its own. His subconscious, which had experienced doing this motion, tried to replicate the move. Asher disappeared from his spot as he appeared on the left side of the boss. The fireman's turned its head, ready to attack, but the human disappeared once again. Asher was hyper-focused, so he could not really control his actions, but he could feel that his legs moved in a very complex manner. It was different from his snake steps, which he created, but although not as powerful, it was enough to close their distance. His mana flow around his leg has changed as he dashed towards the monster. Asher threw his sword upwards in the air while he used both his legs to jump upwards. His body was not exactly balanced, so he threw the sword in the air and used both of his legs. Some of his leg muscles got damaged in the process, but he managed to make it near his sword as he reached out his right hand to grab it. A stream of fire could be seen below Asher, but the boss soon saw Asher, who was in the air now. The boss saw another chance to finally strike the human who was airborne in front of him helpless. The fireman's was much faster than Asher, so he raised his claw to kill Asher, as it was the perfect chance. Time dilation, Asher muttered as he saw the claw that was approaching him in an insanely high speed slow down considerably. Asher fell to the ground and saw that the beast was now slowly moving its eyes to see his previous motion. He dashed forward and jumped onto the monster's back. The fireman's was about to jump, but Asher was already on its back. He ran forward, but the slowed down time also reduced the heat that could travel to his body, preventing his feet from burning completely when he landed directly on its back, which was glowing the most. With a sword in his right hand, he reached the head of the fireman's. Clad in his sword with all of his aura, the sword had many areas where it was chipped due to him using it on monsters that it was not made for. If not for his aura, the blade would have melted or bent due to the heat alone in its body. Asher thrust the sword with his right hand. The boss had moved its head a lot, and in a few more seconds, Asher would certainly lose his footing. But not wasting any time, he plunged the sword through the face of fireman's, cutting it in half. He made his way downwards as he split the face in half with his sword, and blood was slowly emerging from the wounds. Alyssa was running towards him with her eyes wide open and her hands ready to attack the boss monster with her last possible attack. Asher sliced off its head, but not stopping there, he used his grip to launch himself up again to reach the head once more. His eyes landed on the last horn, and he dashed as he poured all of his aura towards that one punch. Bam! Despite having no support from his left arm, his punch was enough to crack open the horn, but he punched it again. Bam bam bam! The horn came off as blood was slowly spurting outwards, and his time dilation was about to be over as well. Host has gained 25,000 express. Host has leveled up. Host has leveled up. Seeing the two notifications, he knew that he had managed to finish the boss, but all of his strength was leaving his body. His consciousness was fading as well. Asher closed his eyes, falling down as his world faded to black, but he had done it. He had defeated the Firamins despite the odds against him. Time dilation has ended. Alyssa ran towards Asher, who was falling. She used gravity magic to make Asher fall away from the massive Fireman's body. She ran forward with all her strength and caught Asher using the gravity magic as the pain in her head grew bigger. Overexerting herself, Alyssa's eyes were red and blood was dripping from her nose. A few burns appeared on her hand due to massive heat that came off the dead beast, but she looked at Asher, who was unconscious, in her arms. Contemporary romance. "You did it," she said, relieved that both of them could survive. Crack. A cracking sound appeared from the walls of the dungeon as a violet space got revealed. What is happening? Alyssa got surprised as she looked around to see the dungeon walls were breaking. She could see a violet energy behind the walls, but monsters started to step out of the violet energy. Roar. A few kirans came out of the broken walls of the dungeon, making Alyssa grab Asher's body closer to her. She anxiously looked around as she saw at least 4 to 5 kirans walking towards her and Asher with their jaws open. How? Alyssa questioned, as she had never heard of such things happening after defeating the dungeon boss. She looked down at Asher, who was bleeding in her arms, and she didn't have enough mana to defeat more than 2 kirans herself. We will not die here. I started to envelop around Alyssa as he brought Asher close to her chest, but she could not perceive the hidden looming danger that was about to step into this dungeon. If she could, she would have gave up her hopes on getting out of this dungeon alive. Inside the violet energy was a terrifying monster whose pressure alone was enough to kill both Asher and Alyssa. Warning. Curse of Fate is resonating. Warning. An S-rank boss monster is appearing from the spatial crack. Asher was getting multiple system warnings, but he was unconscious, so he could not see them. Host. Evacuate immediately. Closing square bracket. Calculating host's survival rate. Closing square bracket. System notifications continued to pop up. Survival rate, 0%. Closing square bracket. Checking host's system access. Full authority found, unlocking. Closing square bracket. Requirement not met. Partial requirements met. Host's level has reached 21. Emergency. Unlocking the system's true form. Opening square bracket question mark exclamation mark question mark. Is being released. Opening square bracket question mark exclamation mark question mark. Is awakening from its slumber. System is materializing. Closing square bracket. Neither the monsters nor Alyssa could see. Materializing, something that did not belong to this world was finally showing itself. A eye revealed itself from the huge shadow that was emerging behind Asher. A huge shadow started to appear behind Alyssa, who was holding Asher. Alyssa brought Asher closer as various ice daggers started to revolve around her. Blood was dripping from the edge of her eyes right now. Numerous small ice shards shot out, killing 2 or 3 kirans, but something weird happened. Due to her intense headache and pain, Alyssa could not even see around her. She buried her head in Asher's hair as her hands trembled while she used all of her mana to somehow kill the monsters. Normally, the kirans would have dodged those attacks, or at least a few more would have survived, but no monster was moving even an inch. An ominous presence permeated the air, and the monsters halted in their tracks. From the inky blackness of the shadows, a single colossal eye emerged, the vibrant, blood-red hue of its iris piercing the gloom. The eye's elliptical pupil narrowed, exuding an air of mystery and an unsettling aura. The unblinking stare held a terrifying and menacing quality that seemed to paralyze the monsters in fear. As the eye surveyed the dungeon, the creatures trembled, recognizing the entity as a force beyond their comprehension. The true form of the enormous shadow remained hidden. Its power emanating from the shadows caused even the most ferocious beasts to cower. The once rampant monsters now stood frozen, their instincts warning them of the futility of challenging this ancient, enigmatic being. The eye moved towards the violent energy, sensing a presence more powerful than the worthless monsters in front of it. The S-rank boss monster trembled in fear as it realized something far more powerful was present on the other side. Its instinct told it to run rather than die to the unknown presence. But before anything could react, the darkness with the shadow started to wrap around the violet energy. It permeated through the violet energy and strangled the S-rank boss monster that could not escape the clutches of the strange darkness. Opening square bracket question mark exclamation mark question mark. Is absorbing the S-rank monster. As the shadow devoured the S-rank monster, not even leaving any trace of the fearful monster behind, it turned towards the violet energy, but before it could even try to devour it, strange chains started appearing to reject the shadows, making the eye glare at those chains. Opening square bracket question mark exclamation mark question mark exclamation mark. Is interfering. Before the chains could move further, the second eye opened as well, and the darkness took over the whole dungeon, including the violet energy. The violet energy grew smaller and smaller as the strange presence retracted the darkness around it. And in a few seconds, the strange violet energy disappeared completely, leaving no trace of its existence. The eyes turned and looked at Asha, who was unconscious. Opening square bracket question mark exclamation mark question mark. Recognizes its host. Opening square bracket question mark exclamation mark question mark. Does not submit to the host. But strange purple runes came out of Asha's body, taking over the darkness and making the darkness a bit smaller as a result. Opening square bracket question mark exclamation mark question mark. Questions its existence. The massive red eye came closer to Asha's body behind Alyssa's back. Fortunately, Alyssa could not see the darkness that was wrapping around her and Asha. Checking full access permission. Closing square bracket. Ads by PubFuture. Host has full access. Whatever the true form of the system was, it was truly confused about why Asha was commanding over it. Opening square bracket question mark exclamation mark question mark. Will get partially absorbed by the host. The eye disappeared as it got absorbed into Asha. Alyssa didn't know, but a small black tattoo appeared on Asha's back and disappeared soon after. Alyssa was trembling, but she kept hugging Asha to protect him. Cough. She started coughing as she looked around her to see that those Kirans were dead. We are alive, she muttered as blood kept dripping around her eyes and nose. She was so tired right now that she wanted to sleep, but this was not the time. She stood up and laid down Asha carefully. The floor was quite hot, but due to her unstable use of her mana, a shell of ice had formed under and around them. She broke the thin ice with her pale hands as she walked over and took the boss inside her spatial ring, and turning, she did the same for the Kirans that died due to her ice attacks as well. She turned her face as she looked above the altar where the artifact was present, and beyond that was the portal gate that would take them out of the dungeon. Each step was making her even more dizzy, but she kept walking as she reached Asha, who was lying down with his eyes closed. A certain memory popped in her mind as she remembered the events that happened earlier. Alyssa kept looking at Asha's face for a few seconds before she crouched to pick him up. Both of them had multiple small burns on their hands and near their necks and faces, but this could be treated with medical attention outside in the medical facility of the World Academy. Now the boss was dead, Alyssa could finally use the mana gathering locket she had. Regaining a small amount of mana, she picked up Asha with his arms around her shoulders. It was difficult for her, but she kept walking on the steps of the altar as they reached the highest step, and she saw a ring on top of a stone slab. She took it in her spatial ring, as the dungeon would probably close soon after they left. This was the case with dungeon defects that resulted in yellow or red gates. And when both the artifact and boss were defeated, such dungeons would soon disappear, so she needed to leave with Asher, or they would be trapped inside this dungeon forever as it would disappear from their world. Her eyes were getting heavy, but looking at Asher, who was bleeding, she needed to get out as soon as possible. She dragged herself while holding Asher with her shoulder and saw the yellow gate in front of her. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Outside the World Academy, Damien and Amelia both were long done with their dungeon exploration. Although it was tough, they had almost managed to kill the Ice Wolf. Although it was more due to Amelia, who boosted herself and Damien to withstand the attacks. Right now, Damien was arguing with a staff member outside the portal points. "What do you mean? His dungeon exploration got delayed?" Damien asked the staff member. "I wanted to ask what boss he fought," Damien turned as he got back to Amelia. "What did they say?" Amelia asked Damien. "His test got delayed, so he will come out a bit late," Damien replied as both of them went towards the VIP dorm. They were both tired, and Amelia wanted to take a short nap as well, so they went back. At the dungeon outside, the professor was patiently waiting as he kept staring at the dungeon portal while biting his nails. He was wishing somehow Alyssa died, so they could save Asher quickly, but there were no signs of it. A long time had passed, but looking at the dungeon still closed meant both of them were alive, so he kept praying for Asher's safe return. Suddenly the professor's eyes went wide as he saw the sight in front of him. "Wait, the gate is changing," the professor shouted as every staff member, including the senior year student who was sitting there like a hostage, looked at the dungeon. Through the dungeon, a girl who carrying a young man stepped out. It was not hard for them to recognize Alyssa, as her looks were similar to her previous appearance due to the artifact she was wearing, but everybody was shocked as she carried Asher, who was bleeding and unconscious. Seeing that she had finally stepped out, Alyssa's eyes grew even heavier, and she fell down, causing both of them to fall. "Take them to the medical facility," the professor shouted with urgency. "Inform the principal," he shouted at the staff member beside him. In a minute, both of them were taken to the medical facility urgently. Currently, the extent of their injuries was unknown, but seeing that they had survived was enough. The professor fell to the ground as his legs gave up. The stress he had experienced in the past few hours was something he never wanted to go through again. He was sure that if Asher didn't return alive, he would be the one used as the scapegoat and probably would die. Contemporary romance. Farnes was still present in his office, but on his hands, various rings were visible. He was looking for some documents when the staff member urgently knocked on the door. The door opened as the staff member came in with a delighted look on his face. "Sir, Asher Greville has come out of the dungeon alive," he reported. Farnes's eyebrows raised as his fingers tapped the desk 2 times. "Is he in the medical facility?" Farnes asked. "Yes, our doctors are treating him, so he should be able to recover soon enough," the staff reported. "Delay the ranking announcement. We will do it after both of them wake up," Farnes said without a single change in his expressions. As the staff member left, Farnes removed the rings on his hands. He stood up, looked outside the window, and remembered his talk with Silvus Grandis, the Mage Association chairman, long ago. "What do you think of the records of the past?" Silvus asked Farnes, who looked like a 40-year-old man. For some, they handle them like a legacy. Some handle them as a source of information. It depends on how you look at them, Farnes replied. I think something different. Remember the guy who mastered the runic arts and was said to be the creator of the trial grounds? It was a conversation that happened long ago, but Farnes was strangely remembering it now. It was already the next day, but Asher and Alyssa were still unconscious. Rumors spread instantly that Asher Greville got hurt in the D-rank dungeon, making many people elated in the World Academy. Kevin, you have a good chance to gain the number 1 spot now, Rhea said to Kevin with a smile on her face. Don't be so happy, Rhea. His score in the physical test was still too good, Eva replied while sitting down on one of the sofas. Yeah, but our professor told us that most of the marks are given based on your performance in the dungeon exploration, Rhea said as she took a snack from the table. Serves him right, who told him to be so arrogant, Rhea said, looking at Elena. I don't care much about rankings right now, he is already D-rank, Kevin said with an annoyed look on his face. Yeah, we should work on ourselves for now. But I am glad that girl will step down as the year representative. Elena walked over and sat beside Rhea, speaking with a confident look on her face. She didn't like the fact that people always compared her to a cripple like Alyssa. Although, after the physical test, nobody really thought Alyssa would be able to maintain her top 10 spot. But the fact that both she and Asher were in the medical facility, most people, including Elena and Kevin, assumed Asher and Alyssa probably made a mistake in the D-rank dungeon. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Why can't we meet him? Damien was arguing with a staff member when Professor Elsa came out of the medical facility. He had heard the rumors but couldn't believe that Asher would get hurt in a D-rank dungeon so much that he would have to stay in the medical facility. What they didn't know was that Asher and Alyssa had come out of the dungeon a long time ago. Both of you can go back for now. He is fine, Elsa said, but Damien was still not budging. Okay, we should go, Damien. Amelia pulled Damien's hand and took him away from the building. She knew about Elsa Robles, who was her mother, Sylvie's friend, and a famous SS rank hunter. Elsa looked at both of them go inside in relief. Why does every bad thing involve him? Elsa looked back at the huge building behind her. First, the incident with Professor Irwin, and now this. Although she herself didn't know what had happened and why her student was in the medical facility, she had been told that their test got delayed, and they got a bit injured. Farnas had carefully controlled the information and made it so that nobody except the people present there knew about the dungeon defect. Inside the medical facility, his body is healthy, but he is showing no signs of waking up, the doctor respectfully reported to Farnas, who was standing in front of the room Asher was staying in. Did the girl wake up yet? Farnas's presence was heavy for some of the low-ranking doctors. Ah, no. Actually, she would wake up, but it seems she is mentally drained, the doctor replied hesitantly. Get her to wake up and tell us what happened inside. Farnas was turning when one of the junior doctors shouted. Ads by Pub Future. Ah, Asher Greville has woken up. He informed, making the head doctor stepped inside the room quickly. Only a few doctors were allowed to heal Asher and Alyssa, and all of them were picked by Farnas himself. The old man didn't want anybody to learn about the incident that happened as it would greatly affect the image of the World Academy. Asher's head was still dizzy as he opened his eyes, but the bright light in the room made him squint. What happened? Asher thought as he stood up and looked around. But as he stood up, he could feel that his left arm was a bit painful. Although it was fully healed, the aftereffect was still present. The pain made Asher instantly remember the moment he had defeated the boss and found himself unconscious. Don't move much for now, a man's voice wearing lab clothes resounded in his ears. Are you feeling fine? The head doctor asked while looking at the monitor. Yeah. Asher stood up from his bed. Wait, don't move around too much, the head doctor advised, but he saw the indifferent expression on Asher's face. You can leave. Farnas appeared behind the head doctor and ordered. Yes, as you wish. The doctor bowed his head a bit and left Farnas and Asher alone. Asher saw an old man wearing a white robe with a few designs on it. It was attire he remembered very well. Do you want to talk in my office or here? Farnas still had his usual look that showed his endless confidence. In your office, but first I would like a few things, Asher said as he looked around but turned his face to look at Farnas's eyes. My and Alyssa Astaria's spatial rings, Asher said as Farnas took out both his and Alyssa's spatial rings. These spatial rings were specially given to the year representatives, and their owners could open them with their own mana. He tossed it towards Asher, who caught it with his hand. You can give it to her when she wakes up, Farnas said as he disappeared with Asher as well. It was one of the artifacts that Farnas possessed that allowed him to teleport to certain locations he had marked with a few people as well. As the location could not be changed once chosen, it was a rank S artifact. What does the heir of the Greville family want to talk about? Farnas sat on his chair behind his table, which was neatly organized. His words and actions did not reveal even a single speck of hesitation or anxiousness about the incident that happened yesterday. Asher sat down on the sofa. He could feel that his body was still tired from the after-effect of using his skill, but he looked calm right now. A dungeon defect happening due to the World Academy's fault, a professor trying to kill a student. I wonder what you want to talk about, Asher said with an indifferent face. Normally, a hunter on the same level as Asher would have been trembling due to the pressure from his body alone, but he was calm. Farnas raised his eyes as an amused look appeared on his face. Are you saying it's our fault? Farnas didn't give in to Asher's provocation and smiled, maintaining his demeanor. Farnas Calmont, the strongest human in the world and one of the wisest as well. He was known for his great intelligence and insights. No matter what, for Farnas, Asher was only a young boy who still didn't know much about how the world worked. Accidents happen in dangerous places like dungeons. You cannot blame us, Farnas replied. Well, if that's all, I should leave. Asher was about to stand up when Farnas tapped his finger on the table and spoke again, contemporary romance. Well, from the way you are speaking to this old man, it seems like you want some compensation. Farnas could guess that the young man was not like others his age. He was trying to convey that he was ready to conceal the information about the dungeon defect, but he needed a price. Well, what can the principal of the World Academy offer me? Asher sat again and looked directly at the principal. Haha, young man, do you want to bargain with me? Farnas laughed again. What do you want? Tell me the price. For World Academy's peace, I wouldn't mind a loss either. Farnas gave an open choice but didn't specify any offers himself. He wanted to know what Asher wanted before he would slowly pressure him down to a good deal. What Farnas wanted was Asher to admit that he willingly challenged a C-rank dungeon and eliminate the possibility of the dungeon defect happening. Token of Kashala seems like a fair trade. Asher's indifferent eyes stared at Farnas. Hehehehehehehe, Farnas laughed. Asher Greville, you may leave. You are free to try and do whatever you want. Farnas smiled while provoking Asher. It was true that conflict with the Greville family and few other elite families was troublesome, but he could still handle them. It would have been different if Asher had died, but he was alive. He didn't know that the young man in front of him would have the audacity to ask for one of the greatest possessions he held. For him, the future headaches were better than giving up on that token. It was not an artifact nor a special mana-related item, but it held significant value that both of them knew very well. Asher's eyes ventured towards the robe that Farnas was wearing. Well, a full robe would have suited you more. Right now it's rather dull. A smirk formed on Asher's face. A heavy pressure loomed in the room, as Farnas's expression turned serious as he looked at Asher. What do you mean, young man? Farnas asked while looking directly at Asher. Just an opinion, nothing much. Asher stood up, ready to leave, but before he got closer to the door, a white-colored token with a few delicate designs on it floated in front of Asher, whose eyes were cold right now. Does anybody else know about it? The old man asked as he suppressed his thoughts to kill Asher. Well, if nobody knows that I possess this token, nobody will know about that as well, Asher said with an indifferent voice. Very well, you may leave, and Vice Principal Xander is in charge of the rankings. Both of you need to provide proof of your kills inside the dungeon, Farnes said as Asher left the office. Farnes clutched his fingers as various cracks started appearing on the wall of his office room. How did he know? Farnes had only one thought in his mind. It was a known fact that Farnes possessed an ancient rune, and one of the students with great talent with a spear would get his legacy. But what was even more coveted was the armor that Farnes possessed. An SSS rank armor, one of the most powerful armor artifacts that came out of a dungeon. But despite being coveted, it was appraised as a blood-bound artifact, so nobody other than Farnes could possess it. But Farnes later discovered another ability that the armor possessed, and that was his ability to pass half of the armor down to someone and protect them from death. If the inheritor of that armor was about to be killed, Farnes would be able to teleport to save them. It also allowed Farnes to know the location where the other half of the armor was. This phantom armor would only activate in the face of death, but the problem was that Farnes had already used it on someone. Nobody knew, but Farnes had already taken Kevin Whiteheart as his successor and secretly gave him the armor. Only the family head of the Whiteheart family knew about this, even Kevin himself didn't knew that he possessed such armor. The biggest secret of the principal of the World Academy, one he never wanted the world to know. As Asher was being escorted by a staff member, his face went cold, but he still didn't knew about a weird black tattoo appeared again while he was talking with Farnes but disappeared shortly after. Arnes made a wave with his hands, and a screen revealed the training room where Xander was standing could be seen. He wanted to know what sort of monsters Asher had fought to come out of the C rank alive. Farnes guessed that it was around 20 D rank monsters, and Asher got injured while running towards the portal. He had assumed that this Yellow Gate dungeon was a bit special, as the portal would have appeared somewhere in the dungeon, forcing them to explore and hide from the monsters. Even in his wildest thoughts, Farnes did not assume that Asher had fought all the monsters inside the dungeon. And the fact that it was a special environment dungeon was still not known by anyone other than Asher and Alyssa. As Asher entered the training room built for professors, he saw Xander standing there in his formal clothing. Xander was already aware of the dungeon defect, but due to Farnes and the mana oath he took for the secrecy of the World Academy, he could not take action until Asher disclosed this fact. The mana oath was a simple contract-like spell that informed the other party whenever the pact was broken. The moment Xander told anyone, he would break his oath. Do you know why you are present here? Xander spoke out, looking at Asher. Xander was a strict man, and even though he favored Asher for some reasons, he would not be biased in his evaluation. This was one reason, despite being part of an elite family, Xander was respected as the vice principal of the World Academy. I just need to provide enough proof of the monsters I killed. Asher asked while he took out his spatial ring. If he didn't have the dead bodies of the monsters, Asher would have to prove his strength in other ways. It would then be up to Farnes and the evaluation team to give him his rankings. Yeah, Xander nodded as Asher wore the ring on his index finger. Asher paused, wondering if Alyssa had stored the boss monster or not, but only she could answer that question. His mind had numerous thoughts, but he was not too worried about Alyssa. He knew she was capable enough to handle the mental drain she experienced. Asher put his mana into the ring, and many huge dead bodies started to pile up in front of Xander, who was looking at the increasing number of monsters with an amused expression. Bit by bit, more than 25 monsters appeared out of his spatial ring, but they were all D-rank monsters. Your result is remarkable, Xander said while looking at Asher. But he noticed that some of the monsters had dagger-like cuts on their bodies. You used a sword, right? So who killed those? Xander was confused but didn't want to believe an A+ rank hunter had killed a D rank monster. There were only 2 of us there, So it's quite obvious, isn't it? Asher said. Ads by Pub Future. But there are more, Asher said, making Xander look at him with a confused expression on his face. Did he kill even more D-rank monsters? Xander thought in his mind. But Asher brought out a few corpses of four-eyed monsters with white jaws, and as soon as Xander's eyes recognized the monster in front of him, he was surprised. For a moment, he could not believe that Asher had managed to kill a C-rank monster like a Realmir, and what was even more shocking was that he had killed more than one. How? It was Farnas who could not believe what he was seeing. Watching from the screen, he had also expected a few more D-rank monsters, but seeing a Realmir shocked even an old man like Farnas greatly. Did I make the wrong decision? Farnas was rethinking his decision to give Asher the token. You can see rest of the monsters when she wakes up. Asher looked at Xander, who was still looking at the Realmir. From the sword wounds alone, he could see that Asher had defeated it, but despite seeing it himself, it was something he had a hard time believing. And then you can leave for now. I will give you both your evaluation according to your results, Xander said, knowing that Farnas was watching. It meant that he would take control over the rankings, and Farnas didn't mind it either. He was right now thinking about how Asher managed to get hold of the information he presented in front of him. Asher turned, but he was still feeling a bit weak. He knew that he still hadn't recovered properly from the usage of that skill. After 15 minutes, he reached outside the medical facility after taking a trip to the ranker's dorm for a bit. As he reached the floor he was on, he saw one of the junior doctors talking with a nurse. The nurse noticed Asher immediately as she signaled the man who was talking with her. Ah, did you need something? The junior doctor asked respectfully. Where is Alyssa Astaria? Asher asked, but his indifferent face made it difficult for the doctor to judge what he was thinking. But the doctor didn't have enough authority to refuse Asher, and how the principal had given them strict orders, he misunderstood Asher as someone favored by Farnas Calmot himself. But he was wrong. In fact, far from being favored, Asher was probably the one human Farnas would have killed if not for his mana oaths he himself made in front of the High Council. His oaths had various restrictions that didn't even allow Farnas to try and hire someone to kill Asher. It was simple. Why would elite families send their own children to someone who could potentially become their enemy without any sort of safety mechanism to protect them? This was one of the reasons Asher used the one threat he had to corner Farnas even further. Not only was this the worst time for the World Academy because the news about the compromise in Asher's safety would leak, which would turn almost two-thirds of Somaria's power against the World Academy, but if Asher also leaked the secret he used as a bargaining chip was big concern for Farnas. The old monster could not even make a mana oath with Asher because of his restrictions. But Asher himself knew that he had no benefit in leaking that information right now. Why would he give someone else the chance he could have for himself? It's the room on the left, the doctor said as Asher made his way past him. Asher stepped in front of the door as the door opened up and he saw Alyssa still had the previous appearance due to the artifact. The mask was almost undetectable, but it also had a fatal flaw. If someone attacked her face, and if the power behind the strike was enough, the mask would break. Fortunately, none of the medications and the tests the doctors did required them to strike her face. With his indifferent face, he sat beside Alyssa as he looked at her. Bringing a potion out of her spatial ring, which was a bit more special and something only he had, he poured it inside Alyssa's mouth as he used his fingers to open her jaw. Asher sat down on one of the seats present in the room and closed his eyes. He was tired as well, and the potion he used would also take some time to help Alyssa. He leaned back on the seat as he closed his eyes. There were many things that were pending. He still hadn't asked the system about the curse of fate, he didn't even know about the whole violet energy breaking out. Even the fact there was a strange black tattoo on his back. He was up for a big surprise tomorrow, but right now, sleep took over the Asher, but a certain someone in Soren was tiredly working inside a dark room that was illuminated by the dark screens. Cups of coffee and other snacks were on the table. Overall, the room was cluttered with similar things. "When will the boss come out of the World Academy?" Tom said as his tired eyes and dry fingers kept working. He was currently working on one of Ash's plans, and honestly, he would have escaped, but he knew that he would die either way, so he chose to work for Asher and get paid a lot of money instead of running all his life to die in some random corner in the world. "Still, no changes. Why do I need to check these spots?" Tom said with a tired voice. He kept checking on various live footage of random places in the world. Some were in Somalia, some in Desmer, and other continents as well. He was checking the next image when he got a certain notification: contemporary romance. "What? They are extending the date." Tom frowned, but he needed to inform Asher about this quickly. 2 days later in the World Academy. The tension was high, as most of the first-year students were anxiously waiting for the results of their rankings. In the big seminar hall, all the first-year students were filling the seats. "Sit down, you are blocking the view," an angry boy shouted at a student in front of him. "Oh, they are about to reveal the top 50s. A girl spoke with her fingers crossed. Many eyes were on this announcement because things were about to start in the World Academy, and all of them began after the rankers ceremony.